What up, though? The J. Roos theory. You know what it is. You know what it ain't. Make sure to comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. I saw a channel called Trill Boxing Talk, and they had on Deontay Wilder. And he said he would be willing to fight Francis Ngannou in a two-fight deal in Africa. He said one in the boxing ring and then the other in the octagon. Because he said, it's not fair really when them guys come over to boxing, they don't really have any stand-up game. So he said he would train for the octagon too. He said he's not going to be one of these guys that say, "Well, I had some fights in the streets." He's like, "No, I'm going to train." You don't. He doesn't want Francis Ngannou to just body slam him and start grounding and pounding. You definitely don't want that. But there's a guy that works with Deontay Wilder named Don House, and he actually designed the MMA gloves. And those are 4 ounce gloves, and they train in 8 ounce gloves. Can you imagine getting hit by Deontay Wilder with 4 ounce gloves? Throat's dry. Doing a lot of talking. Just went live with Andrew Tucker. Andrew Tucker World live stream. We're talking about the big fights coming up, but I know I've talked before about Deontay Wilder isn't the hardest puncher in heavyweight boxing history. Not at all. It's more the people he's been hitting, but he still can punch. Don't get me wrong. And getting hit with an overhand right by Deontay Wilder with 4 ounce gloves, that can give the average person a serious migraine. Francis Ngannou too. Um, I think Francis Ngannou would have a better chance against someone like Wilder than like a Fury or Usyk because their skill level is just so high. And Wilder has a high boxing IQ, but he just doesn't really implement it in the fight. So, but I still think Deontay would know how to set Francis Ngannou up to land that right, and a straight punch lands quicker than a wild hook or something like that. So I think Francis would be kind of trying to throw them wild shots, and excuse me, I think Deontay might time him and get him out of there probably late, maybe the ninth round. But both guys can hurt each other, and like I said, this would be a better choice of opponents for Ngannou just because Wilder isn't the most technically sound guy in the ring. But Wilder, I think, would still be too much for him because he still has the experience, even if he's not as technically sound. He knows how to set guys up and things like that. And it could be overwhelming to somebody that's never stepped in the ring. And sure, Ngannou's had big fights, but that was the octagon, not the boxing ring. What do you guys think? Do you think Ngannou would stand a chance against Deontay Wilder? Do you think he would stop him? Um, Joshua and Ngannou would be interesting. Of course, I favor Joshua. Who else? I said the other day Ngannou should fight Derek Chisora over on my NWJ boxing platform. Go subscribe over there if you haven't. Um, but Ngannou, Wilder, I mean, you just have to be a little bit of a fight fan, and that should make you really excited just thinking about those two in the ring. I know the pay per view would be off the charts. It'd probably be $90, but I'll pay it to see that. Because somebody's getting knocked out. It's not going the distance. And I think Deontay Wilder will win it, but that would be um, a better choice of opponents for Ngannou rather than a Fury or a Usyk. Guys with, feints and skills and all that. He don't want that. So I hope it happens. I believe Francis Ngannou signed a $3 million deal with PFL Premier Fight League, and I think that's more of like a mixed martial arts type of thing. I've seen a couple fights there way back. It's not boxing, but he wants to box, and I'll pay to see it. And he's definitely strong. You can't. I don't know. Maybe some will think the fight between him and Wilder, if it takes place, will be whoever lands first. But of course, if it's boxing, I favor Wilder. If it's mixed martial arts, gotta go with Ngannou because, excuse me, throat's dry. Goodness, he just knows how to body slam, and then once he slams you, And he's way heavier than Wilder. Wilder's a strong guy, but it'd be hard for Wilder to get him up off of him if he's on the ground. So again, you got to go with the cliche-ish. The MMA guy wins in the octagon, and the boxer wins in the boxing ring. But like I said, still pay to see it. Who do you guys think would win between Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou? Are you impressed that Deontay Wilder would have two fights with him, one in the ring, one in the octagon? Are you impressed with that? It was just an interesting interview. It was on a YouTube channel called Trill Boxing Talk, and yeah, Deontay Wilder with 4-ounce fight gloves. Pow! You better have a chin. And Francis Ngannou, you seen what he's done with 4-ounce gloves on. And it probably won't feel that much different getting hit by Ngannou with a boxing glove on, because a lot of people don't know when boxing gloves were designed, it wasn't to soften the blow to your face. It was actually to protect the knuckles. So it's still going to feel crazy, glove or mixed martial arts gloves. Boxing gloves or mixed martial arts gloves, I should say. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Make sure you subscribe to my bro, Andrew Tucker World. We did a live stream, like I said. Subscribe to the homie, Viking Samurai, Boxing Wave, Showbiz the Adult, Mr. Boxing Today 2, Counterpunch Boxing News, all the people that keep the sport afloat, especially on a kind of a dull year like 2022 was. You know, it's these platforms that keep the sport in the limelight. And someone asked a great question on the live stream I did with Andrew Tucker World tonight. He said, do you think boxing could ever be as big as the NFL, baseball, excuse me, baseball or the NFL? And I said, yeah, we just have to make the big fights happen. And it can't be any suspect calls, judging like we see in the NFL, suspect games, Chargers, Jags, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I've already talked about my frustration with that in the NFL. But yeah, boxing once was the biggest sport. People would miss work to go see fights and put whole cultures against each other. So boxing can retain its spot in the limelight, and just have to make the big fights happen. Spence Crawford, which I've lost interest in. Fury Joshua, Joshua Wilder, Wilder Ngannou. Thanks for watching. LSR forever the reason I do this. Subscribe to Linux Roos too. And be fearless. Yay to the yay.